Today on our 2010 Chevy Traverse, we'll be installing a CURT hitch, part number 13424. This is what our hitch looks like installed on our vehicle. Now we'll give you a few measurements to help you choose some accessories, such as a ball mount, bicycle rack, or cargo carrier. From the top of the opening on the hitch to the ground is approximately 20 inches. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the edge of the rear bumper is approximately 6 inches. Now let's go ahead with the installation. To begin with, there is a lower bumper fascia that will need to be removed. There's 2 tabs underneath that you twist and pull out, and then the whole rear fascia center section can be removed. Next, we will go ahead and locate the 6 holes that will be used in mounting our hitch. There are 2 on each side, and then 2 in the rear bumper support. To begin with, we will go ahead and lower the exhaust so that we can get to the weld nuts on the passenger side. There are 2 rubber boots located, one on each side of the muffler at the rear of the vehicle, as well as one a little farther towards the front of the vehicle that we will need to remove to allow our exhaust to lower. Before you remove these, you may want to use a strap to help support the exhaust as you lower it down. Now, to remove the exhaust hangers, you can either use a large pry bar or a large flathead screwdriver. To do this, it's helpful if you put a little spray lubricant on the exhaust hanger. Once that's done, go ahead and use the pry bar and work it against the metal portion of the exhaust hanger and work the rubber part off. Now, with the exhaust lowered out of the way, we will go ahead and clean out the existing weld nuts that are on the driver's and passenger side. To clean out the existing weld nuts, we'll use a little spray lube as well as a nylon tube brush, part number 814092. Now, here's what the hardware will look like for the 2 outer bolts on either side of the hitch. You will use a bolt and then a conical tooth washer, making sure that the teeth are facing towards the hitch. Now, for the center 2 bolts, since we do not have existing weld nuts, we'll use a carriage bolt, the spacer, and a flange nut. To install the carriage bolt, the spacer, in the rear 2 holes, you will need to use the Fishwire. You will do this by going to the end of the bumper support and fishing the wire through. You will want to fish the end that threads onto the carriage bolt through the hole that the bolt will be pulled back through and out the end of the bumper structure. Once you have the Fishwire threaded through the bumper structure, you will go ahead and slip the spacer over the end and then thread the carriage bolt onto it. Now, you will go ahead and pull that back through the hole, dropping it in place. You'll want to repeat this for both sides. It is helpful sometimes to leave the Fishwire connected so that you do not push the bolts back up into the frame, and then you will not be able to retrieve them. You may want to get someone to help you raise the hitch into place and install at least one of the outer bolts on each side to hold it in place. Be sure while you're raising the hitch up that you take the 2 Fishwires and feed it through the 2 holes in the rear of the hitch. Go ahead and install the extra bolt on each side to help be sure that the hitch is secured. Now that you have the 2 bolts on either side installed, it's time to move to the back 2. Carefully unthread the Fishwire. You'll want to take the flange nut and slowly thread it onto this bolt. You'll want to repeat this for the other side. Go ahead and snug it down with a wrench, followed by using a torque wrench to torque it to the manufacturer's specifications. Now that all the hardware has been torqued, it is time to reinstall our exhaust. And that'll complete the installation of our CURT hitch, part number 13424, on our 2010 Chevy Traverse.